Chapter 1. Getting Started with VBA. While there is plenty you can do with Excel simply through the use of formulas, there are always going to be tasks that involve sorting or moving data around that can't be easily accomplished with this knowledge alone. In these instances, it will often be easier to just put together a simple program that will complete the task for you. This program is often known as a macro, and Excel features an easy-to-use means of building your own through a programming language that you can access regardless of which version of Excel you are running, known as VBA, Visual Basic for Applications. The language operates using Visual Basic 6, a programming language that was extremely popular for a time before Microsoft created the .NET languages. Currently, VBA is the last bastion of BASIC that most people are going to encounter. Even better, once you get the hang of it, you will be able to easily automate a wide variety of different functions. The language struggles when things get too complicated, but as long as you don't expect too much, you will save yourself a serious amount of time in the long run. What's more, a variation of the language is also found in other Microsoft Office products, and you will be able to adapt what you learn here with little extra effort. It is also important to note that if you are using a newer version of Excel, then you might have a harder time accessing the VBA functions, as they have been mostly buried to keep them from intimidating newer users. Getting started. Assuming you are using Excel 2010 or newer, you are going to need to start your VBA programming journey by enabling the VBA functionality, as the macros that you are going to create could potentially lead to security issues. It is currently disabled by default. To turn on VBA, you are going to want to go to File, followed by Options, and then select the choice to Customize Ribbon. You will then want to look for the checkbox marked Developer, as checking it will allow you to see developer icons on the main page. This is only half the battle, however, as you will also need to ensure that Excel is able to run the macros you create inside the spreadsheet. To do so, you will need to select File, followed by Options, and then Trust Center and Trust Center Settings. From there, you will need to select the option for Macros Settings, and then choose the option to enable all macros. If you followed these steps correctly, you should now be able to find the ribbon of developer tools from the main screen. If you can't see both the ribbon and run a program, then something hasn't been configured correctly. Write a program. Standard programming tradition dictates that the first program that you create when coming to terms with a new type of programming is one that prints the message, "Hello World," at the top of your screen. While this might seem largely useless, it is actually quite helpful, as it allows you to learn to run programs without having to worry about the complexity of the program, leading to unintended errors. In order to write a VBA program, you need to work in something besides the standard worksheet interface. This is known as a module, and it is a special type of workbook page. Assuming you are using Excel 2010 or newer, then you should find a VBA icon waiting at the front of the list of options found under the Developer tab. In order to start building your program, you are going to use the command to insert macro module. A new module is going to be a completely blank page. You will also likely notice a new set of options next to undo and redo. These include play, stop, and pause, and they will be discussed in detail shortly. Each module will come with its own name, starting with Module 1. In order to change the name, all you need to do is replace the existing name in the box titled Properties, which can be found in the bottom left. When dealing with modules, the most important thing to keep in mind is that they operate very differently than a traditional spreadsheet. Specifically, it doesn't contain any cells and it won't automatically calculate formulas. Instead, it is going to broadly behave the same way a basic word processor would.